Are you concerned about keeping your arteries healthy? What if I told you the key to a cleaner circulatory system might be the opposite of what you've always heard? Think about the inner lining of your arteries, a crucial layer called the endothelial layer. This layer is more important than you might realize. It controls your blood pressure, both high and low. It also acts as a filter, especially in the kidneys, and plays a role in preventing blood clots and has an immune component. Interestingly, the primary fuel this endothelial layer prefers is glucose. Now here's the thing, you don't necessarily need to consume glucose directly to feed it, because your body is excellent at making its own glucose. However, this process requires insulin to help the glucose get into the cells. This means the inside of your arteries is very susceptible to problems with insulin. The trouble arises when our bodies become resistant to insulin. The majority of the population faces this issue. This often happens with the chronic overconsumption of carbohydrates and too much snacking. Snacking too much and consuming too many carbohydrates creates a situation of insulin resistance. When this occurs, the inside of your arteries can become vulnerable due to a potential deficiency of fuel for the endothelial layer if insulin isn't working properly. But there's good news. We can support this vital endothelial layer and promote healthy arteries through targeted nutrition. One key player is nitric oxide, which helps relax your blood vessels and keeps your arteries flexible, supporting that endothelial layer. Several nutrients can boost nitric oxide production. Vitamin D is incredibly powerful for this. It's a major trigger for nitric oxide, which explains why so many people with low vitamin D levels often have problems with high blood pressure. Vitamin D really supports nitric oxide production. Other important nutrients include arginine, which many people are taking as a supplement to help lower blood pressure by increasing nitric oxide, and surprisingly, testosterone also increases nitric oxide. Maintaining healthy testosterone levels is crucial, and it's worth noting that environmental plastics can directly shut down your testosterone production. This is a significant reason for low testosterone levels nowadays. Magnesium is another fantastic mineral. It tends to relax muscle spasms and reduce the stress hormone cortisol. Think about what cortisol does. It increases stress, which in turn increases your blood pressure. The other interesting thing about magnesium is that it's very potent at preventing calcium from building up inside the arteries. Furthermore, vitamin D and magnesium can work together to help prevent calcium from even ending up in the arteries in the first place. And let's not forget vitamin K too, which also plays a significant role in keeping calcium from building up in the artery walls. If you found this information helpful, please subscribe, like, and share this video for more health tips. Now, let's get to the surprising part, the best meal to support healthy arteries. We need to focus on consuming something that does not mess up our insulin levels. This means we'll have to go low carb, and a ketogenic approach might be best because with ketones you can potentially bypass insulin resistance and still feed that inner layer of the artery. This means we'll have to go low carb, and a ketogenic approach might be best because with ketones you can potentially bypass insulin resistance and still feed that inner layer of the artery. The primary part of this meal is going to be red meat, the exact thing that mainstream recommendations often tell you to avoid. You can have a hamburger or a steak, but I would highly recommend making sure it's grass-fed if you're having a burger. Why grass-fed? Grass-fed meat is preferred because it typically contains higher levels of omega-3 fatty acids, vitamins A and E, and antioxidants compared to grain-fed meat. Additionally, grass-fed animals are often raised in more humane conditions and have a diet that aligns with their natural eating habits, leading to healthier and more flavorful meat. I would also highly recommend you melt some raw cheese on your burger or enjoy it with your steak. Raw cheese is often higher in beneficial enzymes and vitamin K too. Red meat is also loaded with zinc, which can directly improve your testosterone levels. As for how much to eat, it could range anywhere from 6 to 8 ounces. A common mistake people make is starting to rely on plant-based proteins that may not be as bioavailable. Just think about what the heart is. It's a muscle, and we need to give it the raw materials to help support and heal it. Now let's get into the second part of this essential meal, and that's a salad. I primarily recommend arugula, which also helps increase nitric oxide and contains vitamin C and vitamin E, all beneficial for the arteries. The other thing that can greatly help you is pumpkin seeds. They have high levels of magnesium, zinc, and selenium, and they can also increase nitric oxide. Just take a handful of pumpkin seeds with your meal. Finally, let's revisit the crucial role of vitamin D in supporting a healthy heart. There's nothing more powerful than vitamin D3. It's virtually impossible to get sufficient amounts from food unless you have a very specific diet high in fatty fish, which most people don't. So, you're going to have to get it primarily from sun exposure when possible. Get a lot of it, but always avoid getting burnt. In the winter, or when sun exposure is limited, you'll need to take it as a supplement. It's important to understand that mainstream recommendations suggesting primarily whole grains and unsaturated seed oils may not be the optimal approach for everyone, especially considering their potential impact on insulin levels. The source highlights that even foods with a heart-healthy certification can contain refined grains and sugars. Furthermore, while saturated fat has been historically cautioned against, the source points out inconsistencies, like coconut oil having more cholesterol than steak but not being similarly discouraged. The statistics on heart disease unfortunately continue to worsen, suggesting a need to reconsider conventional advice. Therefore, this meal focusing on low carbs, quality red meat, nutrient-rich salad components, and adequate vitamin D aims to support your artery health by minimizing insulin spikes, promoting nitric oxide production, ensuring essential nutrient intake, and helping to prevent calcium buildup in your arteries. What are your thoughts on this alternative approach to heart health? Have you considered incorporating more of these elements into your diet? Share your experiences and opinions in the comments below. We're always eager to hear from you and learn from your insights. Thanks for watching.